Hi guys, on Saturday, September 21, 2024, Yiaga Africa deployed the Process and Result Verification for Transparency Methodology (PRVT) to observe the Edo State governorship election. Now, you are wondering who is Yiaga? Yiaga Africa is a non-profit civic hub of change makers committed to the promotion of democratic governance, human rights, and civic engagement. According to the spokesperson, the Process and Result Verification for Transparency Methodology involved 300 stationary and 25 roving observers, covering a representative sample of polling units across the 18 local governments in Benin. The interesting fact is, the PRVT enables Yiaga Africa to independently assess the quality of election day processes and verify the accuracy of the official election result as announced by INEC. They even sent observers to the state and local government resource collation centers to observe the process to ensure timely and accurate reporting of the election process. Now in this video, Yiaga Africa talk about the introduction of the PRVT, the turnout of the elections, and the observations made during the Edo State governorship elections, the people trying to buy votes, and other details. Just stay tuned, watch, pay attention, like, share, and subscribe for more.
On the 2024 Edo State governorship election, today, Saturday, the 21st of September 2024, delivered at the Homeville Hotel, Benin, Edo State. On 21st of September 2024, Yiaga Africa deployed the Process and Results Verification for Transparency Methodology, the PRVT, to observe the Edo State governorship election. This involved 300 stationary and 25 roving observers, covering a representative sample of polling units across all 18 local government areas. The PRVT enables Yiaga Africa to independently assess the quality of election day processes and verify the accuracy of the official election results as announced by INEC. After the polls close, observers will observe the results collation process at both the local government area and state levels, ensuring timely and accurate reporting of the election process. Yiaga Africa notes that despite a tense political climate, the Edo State governorship election began peacefully with minimal critical incidents. However, logistical challenges caused delays in the commencement of accreditation and voting in several polling units. As predicted in Yiaga Africa's pre-election statement, late openings were attributed to logistical issues and poor weather conditions, such as the heavy rainfall that we experienced today. Voters patiently waited to cast their votes despite these delays. The lack of vehicles to transport ad hoc officials and election materials and the absence of security personnel to accompany them further contributed to the delays. Although most polling units observed had the presence of security agencies, Yiaga Africa observed an uneven distribution of security personnel, resulting in some densely populated polling units having limited security presence. Yiaga Africa is concerned over reports of intimidation of INEC officials to bypass the bimodal voter accreditation system, the VIVAS, in Akoko Edo local government area. Missing results sheets in polling unit 1 in Ward 8, Orimuon local government area, and disruptions caused by political thugs chasing voters from polling unit 5 in Uesang, Ward 2, Ishang Central Local Government Area. These infractions risk voter suppression and election manipulation. Yaga Africa calls on INEC to strictly enforce its guidelines and to resist any pressure to deviate from the electoral legal framework. Yaga Africa commends the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, and security agencies for their swift action in arresting suspected vote buyers at polling units in Ego and Oredo local government areas. The Commission should extend its operations to other local government areas where votes are being traded for 10,000 naira per voter. The Nigerian police is also applauded for arresting and disarming political thugs with firearms on the eve of the election, contributing to a more secure election day environment. Now, Yaga Africa's Watching the Vote midday findings. Yaga Africa's initial findings are based on reports received from 287 of the 300 polling units and processed at 1:30 p.m. on election day. Additional information and updates will be provided subsequently. Firstly, arrival of INEC officials and commencement of polls. In the polling units observed, Yaga Africa observers noted a slow start of the voting process, with INEC officials arriving in only 43% of polling units by 7:30 a.m. The geographical distribution indicates that in 69% of polling units in the Edo North Senatorial District, 35% of polling units in Edo Central, and 56% of polling units in the Edo South Senatorial Districts. INEC officials did not arrive by 7:30 a.m. By 8:30 a.m., only 17% of the polling units had opened to commence accreditation and voting, while by 9:30 a.m., only 65% of the polling units had commenced accreditation and voting. Now, on the deployment of materials, Yaga Africa observed and noted adequate deployment of election materials like register of voters, voting cubicle, official stamp, ink pad, and indelible ink in the opened polling units observed. Yaga Africa also noted the deployment of assistive materials for persons with disability, with magnifying glasses deployed in only 27% of the polling units, while Braille ballot guide in only 38% of polling units, and people with disability posters in 84% of polling units. Now, on the deployment of the beavers, Yaga Africa observed that every polling unit had a beavers deployed. Additionally, Yaga Africa noted that 6% of the polling units had 2 or more beavers devices deployed. However, the overall accreditation on the beavers was not shown for voters to confirm that it is 0 in 2% of polling units prior to accreditation and voting. Now, on the deployment of party agents, all Progressives Congress, APC party agents were cited at 98% of polling units. Labour Party agents were in 77% of polling units, and the People's Democratic Party agents were in 99% of polling units. The deployment of security personnel, security agents were seen in 95% of polling units. Now, I will list the critical incidents. As at 1:40 p.m., Yaga Africa Watching the Vote data center received 16 verified critical incident reports primarily concerning the late opening of polls. Of additional notes, firstly, polling units where election did not hold. YAGA Africa received reports of 4 polling units that failed to open. That is at 1:40 p.m. This incident was reported in 2 polling units in Egor, 1 in Ishan Southeast, and 1 in Itsako West. Secondly, delayed commencement of voting due to BVAS malfunction. The BVAS malfunctioned in Ayogwiri Town Hall, Ayogwiri polling unit of Uzai Rure, Southeast Ward in Itsako West local government area. As of 1 p.m., voting had not commenced in the polling unit. Thirdly, the disruption of voting. Voters halted the accreditation and voting process in the Ipoba Army Children 11 polling units, codename 12-11-01-011 in Iogban Ute Ward, Ipoba Oha local government area, because INEC officials arrived without the official stamp. At Ebua Market Square in Ohun Uwode local government area, an altercation between APC and PDP supporters over alleged bribery led to the suspension of voting and the destruction of the voting cubicle. Political thugs also disrupted voting at Anyara Araromi Primary School in Akoko Edo local government area. Fourthly, on vote buying and bribery, YAGA Africa observers reported incidents of vote buying in Ipoba Oha, Iguebe, Ishan West, Akoko Edo, Owan West, and Ohumodi local government areas. APC and PDP party agents were seen bribing voters with cash, 10,000 naira at the Igueben Idumoka Primary School polling unit, code 12-10-03-004, Ward 1 in Igueben local government area. Party agents for APC and PDP were also seen handing out cash gifts, 10,000 naira usually, in Enikaro Primary School, number 9 polling unit, code 12-11-07-009 in Ubekung Ward, Ipoba Oha local government area. So these are the critical incidents that we recorded from our sampled units. Preliminary recommendations. YAGA Africa Watching the Vote makes the following preliminary recommendations. Firstly, INEC should extend the voting hour from 2:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. to ensure all voters in polling units with late opening are accorded the opportunity to cast their vote to avert voter suppression. I think some action has been taken on this. Secondly, INEC should ensure full compliance with the guidelines in terms of voter accreditation across all polling units as the process continues. Thirdly, security agencies should enhance their presence in polling units and wards where delays occurred due to the late arrival of INEC officials to prevent political thugs from exploiting the situation to compromise the process, especially if the process extends into the night. Fourthly, INEC should take urgent remedial actions in polling units where cases of infractions and non-compliance with the 2022 Electoral Act and INEC guidelines occurred, particularly non-use of BVAS for accreditation, non-compliance with results counting and collation procedures. This will deepen the legitimacy of the final outcome of the elections. Fifthly, Security agents should respond promptly to records of voter intimidation and attacks at the polling unit to accord citizens the opportunity to exercise their constitutional right to vote. Last but not the least, INEC should ensure strict compliance with the guidelines for results collation. Specifically, party agents and accredited media and election observers should be granted access to the results collation centers. We urge the voters to remain patient and peaceful through the voting and counting process. YAG Africa will provide updates as the voting process ends and the results collation commences. We call on voters who are yet to turn out to vote to proceed to their polling units before 2:30 p.m. to vote for candidates of their choice in the elections, confident that YAG Africa provides timely, statistically representative information about the conduct of the election. YAG Africa appeals to INEC, all security agents, political party candidates and their supporters, and all residents of Edo to work together to ensure that the election is credible and peaceful. The Watching the Vote project that we popularly call the WTV is driven by data for all Nigerians and beholden to none. I thank you for listening. God bless us all. Thank you.
We'd like to take questions. So
what is your general assessment so far?
On our general assessment on the conduct so far. So you're going to get copies of the statement. The process is ongoing, and we will give a comprehensive assessment of INEC's performance. Like we did mention prior to this, that there are 3 tests. These are the preliminary stages, so it's too premature, to draw or assess INEC so far. But our statement is very clear. We have raised very fundamental issues, and please, refer to the statement. I think the question about the second question relates to votes. Look at our statement. 95% of polling units where we deployed, we did report that there was presence of security agents. And what that simply means is that this happened in polling units where security agents were present. So please refer to the statement that we have made, and we will make copies available to you.
These places. What I'm going to give you is a personal observation. Personal. Where I observed, I found out that it will appear that there is a connivance between the security operatives and the party agents. Because you will just see them pretending that nothing is happening. In fact, in the place I observed, the place we are just backing the voters. The voters were just left on their own device. And it will appear as if the number where I went was grossly inadequate. But there appears to be no willingness on the part of law enforcement officers to just do anything. They just were there watching just inactive participants. And one wondered, why should they be there in the first instance? Please, this is my personal observation. And mind you, I visited barely 10. I don't know what other people saw. But what I saw was that there was little or no attempt by law enforcement officers to dissuade those who are sharing money. As for whether they were sharing money, unless you want to be dishonest, you will see what is happening. It's clear. And that's why I'm asking the person who is asking this question whether you just want a confirmation, you are pulling our legs. Because if we were there, you want to go and say, Yaga said this. Now, this is my personal.
Well, thank you, Professor. Statement that we are going to share with you. And we remember, we are driven by data. We cannot just, like that, off the cuff, rate any participant in this activity. Just like that, we do whatever we do based on data. So when the data is available, we can do the scoring. But right now, this is a preliminary statement, and it's a work in progress.